The latest trip to Mexico on Southern Charm didn't just bring sunshine, cocktails, and luxury villas, it brought emotional tension, complicated feelings, and a love triangle that has fans completely divided. At the center of it all is Austen Kroll, a man trying to convince everyone, and maybe even himself, that he's moved on from Audrey Pratt, while clearly still carrying the weight of that breakup. From the moment the cast arrived, the energy between Austen and Salley Carson was impossible to ignore. Salley wasn't subtle about her intentions. In fact, she made it very clear that she saw Austen as someone she wanted, and she wasn't planning to waste time. While touring her room, she even admitted she didn't expect to sleep there if things went according to her plan. That single comment set the tone for everything that followed. But for Austen, this wasn't just about flirting on a group trip. This was about optics, loyalty, and the emotional aftermath of ending a relationship with someone he still deeply cares about. In his own words, getting involved with Salley so soon after Audrey would feel like the ultimate slap in the face. And that line reveals everything about where his heart really is. Because this breakup wasn't messy in the traditional sense. There was no betrayal, no explosive fight, no scandal. Austen ended things even though he still loved Audrey. The distance between their cities played a role, but the real issue was commitment. Audrey wanted a future she could see clearly, living together, building a life, and Austen wasn't ready to promise that. He feared she would move for him and lose her own identity in the process, becoming known only as Austen's girlfriend. So he let her go, believing it was the right thing to do, even if it broke both of their hearts. And that's why Salley's pursuit feels so complicated. From her perspective, she wasn't doing anything wrong. She had been told that Austen and Audrey weren't right for each other, that their relationship was immature, that Audrey would be fine if they broke up. In her mind, she wasn't crossing a line, she was stepping into an opportunity. But in a tight-knit friend group where everyone knows everyone's history, perception is everything. Molly questioned how Audrey could possibly be fine after a year and a half in a serious relationship. Craig's reactions added another layer, hinting that the information Salley received may not have been entirely accurate. And suddenly, what looked like a simple flirtation turned into a potential betrayal, not just of Audrey, but of the group's unspoken rules. Meanwhile, Austen found himself in a position he didn't expect to be in. On one hand, he admitted it felt good to have someone openly interested in him. After heartbreak, attention can be comforting. It reminds you that you're still desirable, still wanted, still capable of moving forward. But on the other hand, every moment with Salley carried the shadow of Audrey. At dinners, by the pool, at the swim-up bar, you could see the hesitation. When castmates encouraged them to kiss, Austen laughed it off. When Salley turned up the charm, he stepped back. It wasn't rejection, it was conflict. Because moving on isn't just about being single. It's about being emotionally ready to rewrite your story. And Austen clearly isn't there yet. What makes this situation even more intense is the environment. Group trips on Southern Charm have always been pressure cookers. There's nowhere to hide. Every conversation becomes public. Every glance gets analyzed. Every choice has consequences. In Charleston, Austen could have quietly processed his breakup. In Mexico, every decision becomes a storyline. And fans are watching closely. Some believe Salley is simply going after what she wants and shouldn't be blamed for Austen's unresolved feelings. Others think pursuing him so soon, especially knowing Audrey personally, crosses a line. And then there are those who see Austen as the real source of the drama, a man who ended a relationship without fully letting it go. Because the truth is, heartbreak doesn't follow a schedule. You can be the one who initiates the breakup and still feel completely lost afterward. Austen himself admitted he feels like he's back at square one in life, watching his ex move forward while he's stuck trying to figure out who he is and what he wants. That vulnerability is what makes this storyline so compelling. It's not just about who kisses who. It's about timing, emotional responsibility, and the fear of making another mistake. And the previews have already revealed that despite all his resistance, Austen and Salley will share at least one kiss before the trip ends. Which raises the biggest question of all: if he knows it could hurt Audrey, if he knows he's not fully over her, if he knows how it will look, why does it still happen? Maybe because healing isn't linear. Maybe because attraction doesn't disappear just because your heart is complicated. Or maybe because in a world where everyone is moving on, standing still feels even more painful. Season 11 of Southern Charm is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged yet, with multiple cast members single, friendships shifting, and long-standing dynamics changing. But this love triangle is the storyline that captures everything the show does best: real emotions, messy timing, and decisions that live somewhere between right and wrong. And as the Mexico trip continues, one thing becomes clear: this isn't just about a rebound or a flirtation. It's about whether Austen is ready to close one chapter of his life, or whether Audrey is still the person he hasn't truly let go of. Because sometimes the hardest part of a breakup isn't losing the relationship. It's realizing you're not ready for anyone else.